If you don't like running, chances are you're probably a speed and power athlete. If you feel like running laps of a track really wears on you, then it's likely that's not where your magic exists. Slay Athletic Club is a new run club experience for women in the heart of Los Angeles, and more importantly, it's completely free, so anyone can turn up. The thing that separates us from the rest of the new and emerging running clubs out there is that we're not strictly running. We've split into two groups, so we actually have power running and power walking.
Louise Hazel is an Olympian and a gold medalist.
She's a certified personal trainer and the CEO of Slay.
She competed in the heptathlon, that's 7 track and field events.
Women's Run Club.
Building community.
Slay.
I really want you to know that the reason we're doing this is because we've got you. I think there's just no better feeling than being able to show up and let somebody else take the reins for you for 60 minutes.
Running, is it bad for your knees?
Ooh, good question.
Louise Hazel, welcome to Slay.
Eric, thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, I am. I think we've got a lot to talk about, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's been a busy couple of weeks.
It really has.
Wowzers.
And we were talking off camera about running and your love for running. And I think there's so many things that we kind of wanted to chat about today, and I wanted to talk to you about a little bit further. So for those who might be listening for the first time, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I am an Olympian. I'm a track and field athlete. So my background was the heptathlon, 7 track and field events.
Tell us all of them, Louie.
If you don't know by now, then get to know. On the first day of competition, because those 7 events take place over 2 days, we compete in the hurdles, the high jump, the shot put, and the 200-meter sprint. And then the second day, we follow up with the long jump, the javelin, and the dreaded 800 meters. Yuck.
How long is it? 800 meters?
It's 800 meters.
Yeah. So 2 laps around the track.
2 laps around the track. And it used to take me about, like, my best ever time was like 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
It's literally the worst event, I think,
really
in the history of the world.
It really is, because it's like, it's not a sprint and it's not a jog. It's somewhere in the middle. And as a result of it being somewhere in the middle, what you end up with as you go through the bell, the first lap, as you're coming into around about 500 to 600 meters, is a shed ton of lactic acid. And that basically just floods the muscles, makes them feel really heavy. It makes you feel like you're swimming, not running.
Oof.
It's scary, especially in front of, 80,000 people in a stadium.
Absolutely brutal. If you're doing an event like that, how do you still find joy in running, or do you find joy in running?
You don't. No, like for me, I was a power athlete. A power athlete means a speed athlete. So I would excel naturally at the long jump, the hurdles, the 200 meters. And as I was coming through the ranks as like a junior athlete, those were the events that I originally competed in. I was originally a 100 meter and 200 meter sprinter. So, that's where I cut my teeth. Running long distance did not come naturally to me. I did not enjoy it. It was my first introduction to track and field. And I quickly realized that my body fatigued much faster than most people, but it's because I have a high propensity for speed and I have fast twitch muscle fibers, which fatigue way quicker. So we often talk in the Slay podcast a lot of the time about the type of athlete that you are. Are you an endurance athlete or are you a speed athlete? If you don't like running, chances are you're probably a speed and power athlete. If you feel like running laps of a track is, really wears on you and it feels very tiring, then it's likely your body's not geared towards that type of training. Like, that's not where your magic exists.
I came across a video of Gabby Thomas the other day, the Olympian, who's a 200-meter runner. And they asked her, what's the furthest you ever run? And she said something like, never more than a lap. And people were shocked. And I saw on social media that people were so shocked that this Olympian track and field athlete never runs very far. And I think that tends to be like a common misconception for a lot of people, is that they think that just because you're a track and field athlete means that you must go for long runs every day.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge disservice to track and field, this idea that, if you're an athlete, then you are a marathon runner. because it's simply not the truth. And any track and field athlete knows that there is a speciality. So the endurance runners, anywhere up from 800 meters upwards, up to your marathon runners, their kind of like superpower is endurance, and anywhere from like 800 meters down to 100 meters, i.e. 400 meters and down, you're looking at your sprinters, your fast twitch athletes. And those are probably the similar type of athletes that compete in sports like weightlifting, a lot of team sports, basketball, perhaps baseball, softball, hockey, like field hockey. And there's a crossover with a lot of those sports because they require a lot of speed endurance. And so you're combining both of those elements together.
How old were you when you started your formal training?
I was 10 years old when I first started training for track and field.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about Slay Athletic Club. What is it?
Slay Athletic Club is a new run club experience for women in the heart of Los Angeles. And more importantly, it's completely free, so anyone can turn up.
Why running?
It's super accessible. It's super sociable. You need very little equipment to take part in running. I think it's obviously a great marker of your cardiovascular fitness. And I think we also want to, as well as our strength training, we also want to make sure that we're tapping into our cardiovascular fitness as we age. It can often be something that we either focus too much on or we let go of. And so for me, like the perfect training system or the perfect training plan is a blend of both strength training and cardiovascular fitness. And I like to create a sentiment of all-round athleticism. I think to kind of focus on any one thing is to potentially like sacrifice the gift of general fitness and general athleticism. And I want women to get back in touch with that.
It's been really interesting seeing the emergence of running clubs that have started to pop up since the return from the pandemic. What's different about Slay Athletic Club?
The thing that's different about Slay Athletic Club and separates us from the rest of the new and emerging running clubs out there is that we're not strictly running. We've split into two groups. So we actually have power running and power walking. So power running is basically speed-based training. So unlike most athletic clubs, you're not going to find us doing like a 1 mile or like 10-mile run on a Saturday morning. We're going to keep it short, fast, and sweet for those people, again, who want to get back in touch with their former athletes. So for those people who miss the sentiment and the feeling of how free it is to just run fast. And that's not to say we want you out there like, pulling hamstrings and trying to be your best Usain Bolt, but just tapping back in. And it might be that you get up to like 90% speed, but just feeling like you can move again. And then our power walking group is really just that's where all the fun is going to be had. So that's for all abilities, anybody who wants to get out and walk in community. But more importantly, we want you to walk with intention. So it doesn't matter how far you go. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're running or you're walking. We want you to do it with intention and we want you to do it powerfully.
Why'd you decide to start this?
Los Angeles is a small town, but it's an amazing town. I love living here. And there are just a few things that I felt that this town needed. And I think that we all talk about the community. I think we all love the people that live here in Los Angeles, but there can, a lot of the time, be a lot of loneliness for some people. We're so spread out. Like there are big canyons, there are huge highways that separate us. And so you can meet people in Los Angeles and not see them again for a whole year. And I wanted to create an opportunity for people to gather together outside of just brunches and eating. And I wanted to be able to bring together a community who have shared and common goals. So I thought about this, just the other week. If ever I want to catch up with a girlfriend, it's like, oh, should we go and get a coffee? I personally don't like coffee, so I'm never going to go and get a coffee with you. I'll be like, I don't even want to go and get a cup of tea. I can have a cup of tea in my house. And so I think post-pandemic, we've really become like these creatures of habit and these hermits, and we either want to stay home or we want to go out and be super fabulous, or we're lacking accountability and we want to get out and exercise, but we kind of want to exercise in groups. And so I thought I could bring all of those elements together for like-minded people who effectively want to meet up, but they also want to have a bit of a lie-in. So we're not kicking off until like 9:30. And there's also time for brunch afterwards. But those people who still want to, meet their goals this year, whether they be health and fitness goals, mental well-being goals, or just, social goals like seeing their friends more. I wanted to give them an opportunity to be able to do that and also connect with amazing women. This is an incredible town and I love it.
I'm sure as soon as you say the word run that you get a variety of different responses. What are some of the responses that you've gotten so far when you've been telling people about Slay Athletic Club?
So obviously when I've been explaining Athletic Club, Slay Athletic Club, I've said, we're starting a new run club. Oh, I don't like running. The first thing I hear is, I'm not a runner. I don't like running. By the time I haven't even gotten around to explaining the fact that we're not just a run club, that we do have a walking club as well, or effectively half of our club is a walking club. People have already kind of backed out of the idea because they either see themselves, they either identify with being a runner or being athletic, or they don't. And even when you say, well, there's a walking element, there's still this kind of hesitation. And I'm always of the mindset of don't make excuses, just come. Like if you want to hang out, then come and do something exercise based. Like it doesn't always have to be meeting up for a coffee and a croissant, or doing things that are effectively not necessarily in line with your overall goals. I think we all just want to be fitter and healthier, and what better way to do that than walking with your best friends or even going for a quick sprint.
What am I going to miss out on if I don't come to Slay Athletic Club?
If you don't get your ass to Slay Athletic Club, first and foremost, you're going to miss out on the community. I think we have the ability to create an incredible female network here in Los Angeles on a Saturday morning, because quite simply, I don't know what else people are doing. If we're not shopping at the Grove, or we're not shopping at some other shopping center, or if we're not going to brunch, then we're just waiting for events to happen. And I think a lot of the time we have to make them happen for ourselves. We have to force ourselves to get up. I don't care how you arrive, whether it be in your sloppy joes or in your favorite workout outfit, just get your butt down there. If you miss the community, you're going to miss the music. You're going to miss the opportunity to connect with like-minded women, i.e. your spirit animals. And also you're going to miss out on the chance to really just get down and improve your fitness. We're going to be having some of the best coaches leading the sessions from the Slay Gym. And one of the things that I've noticed about local running clubs is there isn't necessarily always a high level of expertise. So all of our coaches are personal trainers. A lot of them have a background in track and field. They are pre and postnatal certified. They're all first aid, CPR and AED qualified as well. So you're in really safe hands. And so we really want to be able to take you through a quality workout. And that's not really the be all and end all, but you're going to know the difference between a Slay workout and any old run club workout.
Are there any important things that people need to know about Slay Athletic Club before they come?
I think one of the things that you need to know about Slay Athletic Club is that as the founder, I really want you to be present. So whilst I want you to, show up, take selfies, have a good time, I really want you to know that the reason we're doing this is because we've got you. I think there's just no better feeling than being able to show up and let somebody else take the reins for you for 60 minutes. And I know personally that's what I want for myself out of the running club. Like I want somebody else to kind of lead and guide me through so I can just switch off my brain for like 60 minutes, 45 minutes and just enjoy being. And we've got an incredible location and I really want you to just take a moment to think about the reason you came to Los Angeles. And as you stare out at the Hollywood sign, I want you to just think about how very lucky you are and how you don't need your phone in order to feel connected, how you don't need, a ton of things to feel connected to your body. I want you to just feel enriched and just make sure that you really savor those 60 minutes because it could be the best 60 minutes of your week.
There really is something so special about the venue. And when you look out and you get that sense of space and where you are in the world, there's almost like this meditative element to it that I think is really beautiful.
There really is. And I just want to say for those, we'll have already announced this by the time this podcast goes out, so it's totally fine. We can talk about it. We're going to be hosting the Slay Athletic Club from the iconic Hollywood Bowl. Now, this is a location that I visited maybe in my second year of living in LA, and I was blown away by this auditorium. I remember seeing Kanye West there, Lauryn Hill. Like, this is an iconic music venue. It's an iconic entertainment venue. It's one of the things that puts Hollywood on the map. You know, in the summer, it's full of concerts and culture and the arts. So to be able to kind of almost have a run club that's at the intersection of arts, culture, fitness, sport, fashion, because Fear of God, I remember Fear of God did their opening collection with Adidas there. Like, that is so inspiring. And I think that it's what a lot of us need at the moment. You know, we've literally just come out of the Los Angeles fires. The air quality is really improved, but conditions and living conditions for so many people still aren't what they were a month ago. And, you know, our community at Slay, we're going to be welcoming, opening those doors to those people that were affected in the fires. And I'm thinking of them as well and holding space for them with this run club and saying, this is an opportunity for you to just forget what's happened to you and just be.
There's something so cool about it too, because it's in the middle of the city, but when you're there, it's like you're surrounded by nature at the same time as you're in this incredible space.
It's extremely healing. And that's the thing that I really think is going to be very powerful about this venue for the community of LA who are still recovering from these recent wildfires.
Okay, let's dig in a little bit more into running and what's going on here. So I have a controversial question for you that everyone wants to know.
Go on.
Running.
Yes.
Is it bad for your knees?
Not necessarily. So running, if we put it in force production, if we're talking about merely the exertion on the body, walking is 1.2 times your body weight through your joints in your body. Running is 2.5. So it is higher impact than walking. So if you are a person that suffers with sore knees, and in America, I think the numbers are around about 25% of adults in the USA currently have knee pain. And I think that's also I think they said 1 in 5 people over 40. And amongst women, it's actually 2/3 of women have, over the age of 50, have chronic knee pain. But knee pain isn't caused by running. And I think that's the important thing. It can be brought about and become worse or worsened by running. But often knee pain and chronic knee pain comes from either typically one of two things, being overweight or overtraining. And so really, when it comes to your knee pain, I think it's really important to start looking at the root cause of that, rather than think about, oh, I have bad knees, therefore I can't exercise. This is something that we're told by our GPs all the time. But often when we hear some of those things from even our clients in the gym, we find that actually weight-bearing exercise actually improves their knee pain, because actually that load and that weight bearing is often one of the things that can help strengthen the legs and take the load and the pressure off of the joints. And this is one of the things that I think is going completely unnoticed, and it's one of those myths and misinformation that's been going on for years. That being said, there are a great deal of people who have knee issues. So you should definitely bear that in mind when you're coming out to Run Club or to come and join us for walking as well. So understanding the type of knee pain and the type of knee issues that you have is really important. Go and see a specialist.
Slay Athletic Club is really designed for women. Why is that?
The reason I designed Slay Athletic Club with women in mind is because there are so many gyms and there's so many activities out there for men. You know, I see guys down on like Venice Boardwalk and they're roller skating and they're playing basketball, they're playing pickup games. And it's very rare to see a group of women engaging in activity together outside, you know? So unless you're at the beach and maybe there's volleyball, but often, you know, I want to see women just playing, you know, and utilizing the spaces and the parks that we have in Los Angeles, and more importantly, connecting with those spaces more. And then the other reason is because we women, you know, going out and running potentially at night or in the evenings, it's not necessarily the safest environments for us. I think there's a survey by Why We Run. I think they surveyed, I think it was like 60% of women runners had been harassed. And that's an astonishing number. So that means that there's not really a safe space for women to get their activity done outside. And so I figured if we just take over a venue and we become the majority, then we create the safe spaces for ourselves. And that's not to say that men aren't welcome. They 100% are. I don't want to exclude anyone actually from Slay Run Club. I want our LGBTQ community to come out. I want this really to be a safe space for all. But let it be known, it is going to be women-led and it's going to be woman-forward. So it really is for women and our allies.
How can people get involved?
You can get involved by hitting the link in my bio on Instagram. You can hit that link. It's going to take you through to Eventbrite and you can register there. Our first Slay Athletic Club launch is going to be Saturday, the 15th of March. This is 2025, just in case you're late to the party. And you can text me as well. I'll leave the number in the description box below. I'll also leave the link to the Eventbrite in the description box below. And more importantly, you can show up every Saturday to the Hollywood Bowl at 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and look out for us. We'll be there.
Amazing. I want to wrap this up with a little this or that.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this or that. So would you rather run inside on the treadmill or outside on the track?
Outside on the track.
Would you rather run in the morning or at night?
Ooh, in the morning.
Would you rather run far or run fast?
Fast.
Would you rather run alone or run together?
Together.
And would you rather run from or run towards?
Ooh, towards.
Love it. Louise Hazel, thank you so much for coming down the hall and speaking to me.
I love our little chats, Eric.
It's really nice, and it's an important one that I think is, to talk about something really exciting that's coming up in the city of Los Angeles. If someone's not in the city of Los Angeles, how can they participate or get involved?
We're going to be posting some of our workouts that we do on the Slay Athletic Club Instagram page. But if you just want a general workout and you're at home and you're like, you know what, I want to burn off some steam today, then you can head over to the Slay app. You can hit the link in my bio on Instagram to get that on Apple and Android. And then let's close out. I'll give you the links where you can go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, though.
That concludes this episode of Slay. Stay tuned for more empowering discussions on female health, fitness, and life. You can follow me at Louise Hazel on social media, and you can register for the launch of the Slay Athletic Club now using the link in the description below or the link in my bio on Instagram. And if you want exclusive updates, then you can text SAC to 833-354-0761, or you can follow us at Slay Athletic Club on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the Slay podcast if you haven't done so already on YouTube, and leave us a comment. You can also get fit at home using the Slay app. You can hit the link in my bio to download that now for free from the App Store to join our online community. Mwah.